Hi guys, it's Sean here. Welcome to my channel. My name is Sean and I am coming to you from Bay Area, California, baby. Hope everybody is doing well. I woke up, I'm alive. I think this is how I'm gonna start this video. I'm alive. I haven't really been posting. I think when I started YouTube, I was like really enthusiastic, motivated. I was like, I'm gonna start a YouTube channel. People always used to tell me like, you know, I'm unique, I'm funny, I have my own little personality. And don't mind this attire, guys. I'm currently in my bed and I have comfy clothes on, and it's sunny outside. It's not that cold, but I'm at home. I just wanted to put on a robe and be comfortable. I'm relaxing. And yeah, I yeah, I don't even know if I'm going to post this. I just thought I'm just gonna start recording. But like I was saying, when I first started my YouTube channel, I was like motivated. I've always had like a unique, different personality, and with content creators and social media and AI is like, why not start a channel? Like everybody else is doing it. Might as well, see if I can do something with this just by simply being myself. And then I think I kind of got in my head, life be lifing. And, I think the reason why I started this channel is just because I wanted to share myself authentically. Like, this is me. Maybe somebody can relate. A little bit about myself. I won't say my exact age, but let's say I'm middle age. I am in my mid 40s. I do have an adult child. I guess in the United States, she's 20. So, but she's still my baby, and she's off at university, and so I kind of started the channel like, here I am, this middle-aged woman. I'm an empty nester. I mean, I see my daughter a lot because she's not that far away, but she does live on campus. And so, it's not like she's completely gone. I do, I get to see her. And I have a little doggy, my doggy boy. Sorry, we're both not groomed at all. But he is the love of my life. He is, well, not the love of my life. My daughter's the love of my life. But he's he's my road dog. He's just there for me. They say animals, I don't know. I never had dogs before. I didn't grow up with animals. So now that he's actually my daughter's dog, it was her 15th birthday. He was her little Christmas gift, because a lot of kids, they want little puppies, and we just weren't in a space most of her life where we could comfortably take care of an animal. So anyways, shout out, if y'all got pets, if y'all got dogs, you understand. Like, they just I'll say he really is my little emotionally support animal. But the reason why I wanted to do this video is because I wanted to get back on YouTube. Some life changes or updates. After my daughter left, it really kind of like, things come up that you don't deal with. I don't know if I really have like a niche right now, but topics I definitely want to touch on is like trauma, mental health, wellness, um, taking care of yourself, and what it means to be a woman in her mid 40s, rediscovering herself, you know? So the reason why I'm chilling and sitting down is because I have, even though I know these things, you know, like we got to take care of ourselves, we got to put ourselves first, where we can't give from an empty cup, but I wasn't fully putting into practice. You know, I had so much stress and anxiety, um, that my body could never like fully relax. And sometimes things happen in life to where, you know, you get sat down. I've gotten sat down a few times in life because I'm hard headed, I'm a warrior, I'm stubborn. Like, I get sat down. Like, I'm the type of person, something bad has to happen to me for me to have a wake up call, unfortunately. Don't let that be you, y'all. Don't, if the signs are there and it's like something ain't right, you need to take care of yourself, please do that the first time. Don't let it like become an emergency situation, you know? So, about a year and a half ago, I did end up in the ER. And it was like my first wake up call. It was a wake up call. Like, you know, number one, I ended up in the ER by myself. Like, nobody was there. I was found um, walking around the streets intoxicated, talking out of my mind, and went to the emergency room, you know. I don't really deal with like doctor's appointments, doctors. I don't even really drink alcohol. It was just because I was in a depression state. I was just so down on myself, and I drank alcohol, and I just went 0 to 100. And I didn't even have like current emergency contact. Thank God I made it. Like, God definitely, my ancestor spirit, they, like, it wasn't my time to go, you know. My personal beliefs, I respect everybody's beliefs. Even though I live in the Bay Area, I am South African. I was born in Cape Town, South Africa. Um, and my parents immigrated to Canada, and then I immigrated to the US by myself. So I've lived in South Africa, in Canada, and the US most of my life. Most of the years I've spent in the United States, and I currently live in the Bay Area. But um, all that to say, I'm a pretty tough cookie. Like, I have a high pain tolerance. Um, I've been a single mom since my daughter was 2, so I just like, and being an immigrant and coming from South Africa, like, there's just, you know, you just go, like, it's ingrained in us, like, just to be strong, like, you know, you don't cry, you just keep going. And so I'm sharing all of this because maybe somebody can relate to that. Somebody can relate to, you know, you are not allowed to be weak. You don't have a chance to be weak in life. You just have to keep going. And eventually it catches up to you. You know, now we are learning we need to take care of ourselves. Now we're learning we need to prioritize our mental health and our health, you know. And even though I know that, I even provide wellness services for people. Like, I'm aware of it. I do, like, I'm not saying I completely don't take care of myself. Like, thank God for my dog, because I think walks with him daily really saved my life, you know? Getting outside, getting fresh air, getting in touch with nature, those are the things that saved my life, to tell you the truth. But all that aside, like I said, I ended up in the emergency room. That should have been like my first wake up call. It woke me up a little bit, you know, to where I was like, okay, I got to take care of myself. But And then I ended up talking to someone. I did like a few therapy sessions, and then I had an issue with the insurance. Like 4 sessions later, they said she wasn't like um, an in-network provider. I don't know if you guys know how insurance works, but here, where I am currently in the Bay Area in California, um, if you have insurance, you go to providers that are in network, like they're covered under your insurance. And so your insurance covers it or part of it. But if the provider is not in network, then they don't cover any of it. So after like 4 sessions, I got an email saying the person I was talking to is actually not in network, and that, it would be out of pocket to me, but because it was like their mistake, I wouldn't be charged for the sessions, but I did need to find another person. So in my little mind, I was like, I'm okay. I don't really need to talk to anybody. And I just went about my business, just kept doing the same bad habits that I normally do, which is just keep going. I never asked anybody for help. I never really let people know how bad it was, because I appear the way I appear. Like, I'm pretty much in shape. I'm always like putting on a happy face. People didn't actually know how much I was struggling with my mental health, to the point where my finances, I was struggling financially. I was too embarrassed to let anybody know that I was struggling financially. I was too embarrassed to let anybody know that I was really struggling, period. And I would just put on a happy face, and then maybe I would share here and there with like close people. I don't have a lot of I know a lot of people, but people that I consider really like friends that I trust, there's not a lot of people. And when I did share with a few people, they always seem very surprised, because I always put on this mask like everything's good, and they see me as this strong person. They see me as a person who has overcome, and I have overcome, and I am resilient, I am strong. But I guess the biggest thing for me is like my ego to accept, when you ask for help and when you need help, it doesn't mean that you're not a strong person. It doesn't mean that you're not capable. It just means that you're human and you need help, Sorry if I'm getting emotional, but I'm just sharing with people because I know there's a lot of people in the world that, especially now, life is hard, The world is, there's a lot of awful things going on in the world, in governments and systems. And I don't want to get into all that because I'm trying to keep my YouTube channel going. But we all know the world is not okay right now. And we send peace and love to every single human on this planet, because, planet Earth, Mama Gaia, she's going through a lot right now, And the best thing we can all do is take care of ourselves. And so I was trying to take care of myself, but, nothing was really changing. I kept trying to do the old stuff. Nothing was working, And I found myself still in the same position that I'm in, still struggling with my mental health, struggling with my finances, not feeling safe enough to ask for help, feeling like I'm a failure. And then also I have this incredible, amazing daughter who she's, living her life, and she's in university, and she has her hopes and goals and dreams, and not wanting to interfere with that. You know what I mean? But anyways, fast forward to, I would say early December. I took on another side job, just to earn some more money, because I'm still struggling financially. And then me taking on that other job, I started feeling pain in my right hip. And like I said, I am in my mid-40s, so I thought, well, I'm gonna go ahead and just finally, people fall apart, our bodies fall apart. I have struggled with chronic body pain for a while. And so I just kind of thought okay, let me just go ahead and make an appointment, and I probably need to get my hip checked out, like not thinking 100% that it would, I mean, not thinking it would lead to all these other things, but just being like, oh, I probably just need like to get my hip physiotherapy or whatever, you know? But guys, just a little bit about myself. Um, I believe that this is my personal belief, and I respect everybody's opinions out there in the world, okay? But my belief is that I am a soul having a human experience, and that each person on this planet is having their own unique experience, and that we are guided by God, Creator, Source, Spirit. I believe my ancestors are always with me. I believe signs are always with me, and I believe everything in life happens for a reason. So, me going for my hip led to now that I'm going to the doctor, which I told you all before, I never went to the doctor. Like, I didn't really believe in the medical system. I would do like my own holistic stuff. Like, I don't even take Tylenol, you know. I would just like drink teas and stuff, but still not fully taking care of myself, but just kind of like refusing to go to a doctor and like self-diagnose and look up stuff. I know it sounds crazy, but I'm sharing vulnerably. I'm being vulnerable, let's say it like that, with y'all, because I think a lot of people who are strong, especially women of color, like we're not allowed to show weakness. I know I'm don't have that much color, but I am South African, classified as Cape colored. I'm not even gonna go into that. That can be like another topic for another day, but y'all can Google South African Cape colored if you really want to know, like, you know, race, often, whatever, you know what I mean? But in America, I identify as a black woman. I am South African. That's where I was born. Obviously, we have mixed, you know, uh, we are of mixed race, I guess. I mean, we're all part of the human race, you know, but because of colonization, of course, we have European ancestry, African ancestry, and Asian ancestry because of the slave trades, because of colonization and all that stuff. So that's why I look the way I look, okay? Go look it up. Blame it on colonization, slavery, and whatever else. I can't help the way that I am. I am who I am. You know what I'm saying? Anyways, but in America, there's only a few categories. Yes, if you live in America or if you don't live in America, that's how it is. Anything that you fill out, you go to the doctor, you go to school, anything. They want to know what's your race, what's your ethnicity. Are you Hispanic? Are you Asian? Are you non-Hispanic? Are you black? Are you Caucasian? Are you black or African American? You know what I'm saying? So it's like that's what they want you. They want you to give your, you know, I'm not Hispanic. I am not Caucasian. I have Caucasian ancestry, but neither one of my parents. So yes, I'm black. I was born in South Africa. Like, I don't know what to tell y'all. Anyways, back to my story. The reason why I'm in the robe in my bed is because, you know, a lot of us sometimes we get wake up calls and like we know something ain't right, we know something has to change, but if we continue to try to do the old stuff or we don't actually change, nothing is really going to change, you know? So fast forward to, like I said, I decided maybe I needed another, you know, do another part-time job. I needed more money. Still, my mental health is declining. Like, in the meantime, I'm self-isolating. Like, I don't have a lot of energy. I don't really want to, like, go outside. I'm not doing the things that I used to do. I don't want to be around people, which is fine. You know, you don't got to be, but it's Like the Sean, the old Sean, or the normal me, I was always very social. Like, I enjoy people. I like talking to people. Like, I'm not like a surface level kind of person. I like deep conversations. I'm the type of person that's gonna have a deep conversation with you. You know, I like to really like learn about people's cultures. I like to learn. I like to just talk about. I like to have deep conversations. You know, about real shit. Can we say cuss words on YouTube? I don't know. Anyways, um, but anyways, long story short, I fast forwarded to in this week. Well, okay, no, back it up. The When I went to the doctor, because I wasn't the type of person that would like go to doctors or doctor's appointments, stuff like that. Because I'm a woman of a certain age, now they're looking through my records. They're like, oh, when's the last time you had a mammogram? When's the last time you had blood work? When's the last time you had this? When's the last time you had that? Oh, this doesn't seem, you know what I mean? Now they're finding things, you know? And I'm still like, I just show up like, put on a mask, like, hi, I'm Sean, and I'm gonna pretend everything's good, you know? So it takes a while for me to actually like let down my guard and be like, actually, I'm a hot mess. I'm not okay. I'm struggling mentally. My health is deteriorating. I'm struggling financially. Like, I need help. Like, it takes literally for me to go to the ER and experience what I experienced for me to ask for help. And I'm telling you guys this because for those people, for the strong people out there that don't ask for help, your health is all that matters, you know? So, with this hip thing, that's when I discovered actually it's not a hip issue, it's a lower back issue, because I got a referral to see a physical therapist. They evaluated me, they found out that it's actually, I have issues in my lower back. The like L5, L4, like basically the disc in the lower back is like compressed. That's where the pain's coming from. And that ultimately, it's all coming from my pelvic floor, and that I should go get some pelvic floor therapy. Now, trigger alert, we won't go into that, that's for another day, but we all have experienced trauma. I'll just say in general, we all have experienced trauma, you know, whether you remember it, whether you admit it, we all have experienced some level of trauma in our lives, because we live on planet Earth. Planet Earth, you're going to experience some trauma, you know? And so let's just say, because of trauma that I've experienced, which I am aware of and which I have been trying to work through, I need pelvic floor therapy. So let's just say it like that, you know? And that'll be for another day. Or who knows, you know? But like I said, I'm deep, I'm open, I'm willing to share the things that I've been through and how I'm navigating that in my mid 40s. I have been to therapy, in and out of therapy. Like I said, I did like 4 sessions and then I stopped, but it all kind of leads back to trauma, to tell you the truth. If you don't deal with it, if you just try to compress it, you push it down, if you just act like everybody's experienced trauma, I'm strong, I can do this, no, honey, it's gonna catch up to you. You have to heal, you know? Allow yourself permission to heal. So I'm finally giving myself permission to heal now, you know? But anyways, I'm sorry if I'm all over the place. Like I said, I don't even know if I'm going to post this, but I just thought, what can I do right now? You know what? Let me just turn on the camera. Maybe this is my form of therapy. Maybe this helps somebody. Maybe somebody's going to watch this and be like, yeah, that sounds about right, or, you know. But we all have experienced really awful things at different stages and different times, and what might be really awful for you might not be so awful for me, or what might be really awful for you might not be for me, might not be so awful for you, you know. But we can admit we all have experienced heartbreak, trauma on some level, you know. And I encourage everybody to put themselves first. Like, you are allowed to heal. You deserve to heal, you know? But anyways, long story short, going in for me thinking it's hip pain led to actually it's your lower back that needs physiotherapy, and actually your whole entire pelvic floor needs physiotherapy. Then I went for a routine pap smear appointment. You know, all the women know what a pap is. You know, for people watching this that don't know, that's, you know, where they check for cervical cancer, and it's just a womb appointment for women to make sure everything's going okay, they don't have cancer or anything like that. So just a routine pap appointment. They checked my, you know, when you go to the doctor, they usually check your heart rate, your pulse, all that. So they noticed that I have a slow heart rate, that it's below 60. So I guess normal adults, I guess like a healthy or normal heart rate, is between 60 to 80 beats per minute. Mine was below 60. So they're kind of looking at me. I mean, I'm wearing a robe and everything, but like I look pretty healthy because I'm not like obese, overweight. I present as someone that, like, you know, probably seems healthy and fit or whatever. So they were kind of confused. Why is my heart rate low? So then they checked it again, and they were like, are you okay? Are you feeling dizzy? Are you feeling faint? And the truth is, you know, because of all kind of like this anxiety, depression, because my mental health has been deteriorating because of stress, because financial, all these things, it literally became my norm to feel pressure on my chest. Like, that was normal for me. It was normal for me to constantly feel that pressure on my chest, you know, which I know a lot of us feel. A lot of us feel pressure, and we just go about it like it's normal. Like, all this pressure, we carrying all this pressure, and it's normal. It's not normal, you know. We supposed to breathe. We supposed to feel like a weight's been lifted off our chest, you know. And mine is just like, it just feels like it's always there. So when people ask me these things, like, how are you, like, it's like, if that's your normal state, you're not necessarily going to be like, yeah, I feel pressure every day. Like, I have trouble breathing every day. I have to calm myself down. I have anxiety attacks, you know? But because I walk, and because of my dog, and because I get to ground in nature, I think that's really saved my life, to tell you the truth, y'all. Like, those moments where I get to walk and be in nature is what saved my life, I believe, because it allowed me to calm down, you know? But anyways, so fast forward, now they're like, you need to come back and you need to do an EKG. EKG, for those that don't know, it's basically where they will put a bunch of like monitor, like little stickers with line, like stickers down your arms and your chest, and then that reads your heart, like if there's any blockages and what's going on, you know. So they're like, that's not normal, it's a little low, we want to monitor, you know, bring you back for an EKG appointment, we can monitor your heart, but if anything happens between now and your next appointment, like, go to the emergency room. So I was like, okay, but still not like taking it 100% serious, because that's all they said, you know, not really understanding what's happening. So kind of like going about my week, and then sure enough, I started earlier, a few days ago, I started feeling something like I got, and I'm also letting you guys know in case this happens to you, you know, feeling the pressure on my chest, and then I started getting cold chills. Thank God my daughter, she's home here right now, here in North America, or not, well, in California. Kids were on winter break. It's winter here, so, you know, the different education, like school and universities, they were all on winter break. So my daughter was here, thank God. And I started shaking. I started like, and she was like, Mom, are you okay? And she's like, maybe we should get up, start walking around, see how you feel. So I'm walking around and I'm feeling like shaky. Like I'm like, shit, my knees are about to buckle. And like my daughter is there and I'm just like, I don't know. Like I said, I'm a tough cookie. I refuse. Like I was like, I'm not about to faint. I'm not about to go down like that. That's just me. I know it's not funny, but after something happens, you can laugh about it. Like, it's like, damn. Like I really was telling myself like, not today, Satan. You ain't about to faint in front of your daughter. So she was like, Mom, like, should we go? And luckily there's a emergency hospital that's like about less than 10 minutes away. And so she said she could drive me there. And I was like, are you sure? Like, are you okay? And she's like, yeah, I'm okay. I'm like, God, my daughter, she's a brave one. Like, she just remained calm. She got in the car. She drove me to the emergency room. And because I'm over here like this, like I said, my natural reaction is just to act like strong and to be tough, And it's like, when you're in the emergency, when you're around doctors, like, don't act strong, like, don't act tough, like, show them that you're, like, to me, I'm not like, I don't know. I guess it was hard for me to just be like, I'm having a heart attack. You know what I mean? Because I'm not passed out. So I was just explaining to them, I'm shaking, I'm shivering. I thought I was going to pass out earlier in the week. I was explaining to them, that my doctor said I have a low heart rate and that I'm supposed to come back for an EKG. And they're like, okay, let's take your vitals. Let's do this, let's do that, or whatever, Anyways, long story short, I ended up getting so anxiety ridden and like, I don't know if other comment below, and please feel free to comment below, like if any of this resonates with you, if you've ever felt anxiety, depression, if you've dealt with trauma, if you have had issues to where you're like, I need to take care of my mental health, or just any comments, like feel free. This is a safe space. I want my channel to be a safe space. I want people to, that's why I'm showing up like this, like no hair, no makeup, I'm in a robe, like I'm not feeling my best. I went to the emergency room 2 days ago thinking I was having a heart attack. So I guess basically that's what I'm trying to tell you guys. They did discover that I have a blockage that could lead to a potential heart attack, or that could have been, I don't even want to talk about that or even address, like, I don't even want to like put that out there, because anyways, all I know is that when I was in that emergency room and they had to do like testing of they did an EKG, they did blood work, chest x-ray, all that stuff. Every time, because it's emergency, people in there they're under emergency situations. So you see people in stretches, laying in beds, and they're like crying out and they're saying, and I was just like, I'm also an empath, y'all. I'm a very spiritual person. I'm an empath. I feel. So someone like me that's like, I can feel people's energies. It just felt like so, so much illness, so much sickness. And my body was like, something kicked in, y'all. And I was like, not today, Satan, not today. I'm not going out like that. I ain't about to have a heart attack up in this hospital. And like, I was just telling myself like, hell no, Satan, not today. I was like, the devil is a lie. Not today. I ain't going out like that. Not in front of my daughter. Hell no. You know what I'm saying? And I swear to God, that's what kept me like, I don't know if you guys know what Scared Straight is, or if you're in the US or Canada or anywhere. There was a show, or I don't even know if it's still on TV, and it's called Scared Straight. And it was when like young people who are, who are having a hard time, considered difficult, or, potential of being incarcerated or whatever, difficult teens or whatever, they would take them to prisons and they would call it Scared Straight. And like, basically like, this is where you're going to end up, in this jail prison facility, if you keep going this route, like to prevent them from going down a road that might lead them to jail. And y'all, I really felt like I was in Scared Straight emergency room, because that was my wake up call. Like, I felt like the devil is a lie. This is my wake up call. Like, they trying to show me right now, girl, you're going to end up in this, like, you want to end up like these sick people right now. You like, you have to do something. You have to change, Anyways, guys, and it's only been a couple of days. Yesterday I came home, I rested. I'm talking to y'all, so I'm still alive. Like, I'm like, when they say like God is tough as warriors or whatever, like I really feel like I'm that. Like, I feel like I done been through so much, and the devil tried to take me out, and I was like, hell no. No, ma'am. No, sir. No, siree. Not today. Something clicked, y'all. So yesterday I had to like take it easy after that appointment. Like, just kind of like realize, like, you need help. You need to ask for help. And I started making appointments that I've been putting off and needing to make. I finally made the appointment for another like therapist, because a lot of that, basically what I want to share is like, your mental health is very important, and whatever you don't deal with, like, mentally, it can manifest physically in the body. Like, I was so stressed and so depressed that my body is like started developing chronic pain. I'm now having to go to a physical therapist for chronic pain. I saw an acupuncturist. If you guys aren't familiar with acupuncture, it's like an Eastern Chinese, it's traditional Chinese medicine, where they, the body has all of these meridians and there's certain blockages. And when I went to the acupuncturist, I was there for hip pain, but she was like, once we spoke and everything and she did her evaluation, she was like, we're going to go ahead and address the blockage from your heart. And I was like, what? And so she did acupuncture for my lungs and my heart, like for grief. So, yeah, so all that to say is I'm utilizing like holistic overall wellness. Like, I'm understanding, even though I have my own opinions and kind of like afraid of the American healthcare system and like Western philosophy. I'm combining Eastern and Western philosophy. Like, I'm combining like my own spirituality, my beliefs. I believe that because I was telling myself, and I know that God, creator, source, my ancestors, like, they were with me, and I was like, I'm not about to die in this hospital. I do believe that my mind was so strong that that I decided that I was not going to die and have a heart attack that day. Not that I'm God or anything. Whenever your time's up, your time's up. I'm just saying that your thoughts are powerful. I was so anxiety and depression ridden that I made myself sick. You know how they say about positive thoughts, negative thoughts. So it's like immediately I started thinking, nope, I'm going to live. I'm not going to die. I'm not going to die. I'm not going out like this. My mind started to make my body think that I wasn't going to die. I wasn't going to have a heart attack. You know, if that makes any sense. I'm not in control. If it was my time to go, it was going to be my time to go. Something in me said it wasn't my time and that I was a bad bee and that bad bees don't go out like this. If that makes sense, y'all. And yes, I have weird humor, and yes, I'm telling you this story, and yes, I'm laughing about it, but hey, I'm alive, I'm here, and like, life is about lessons, life is about living, you know what I'm saying? So, yeah, I thought, well, I'm supposed to be taking it easy, I can't get myself worked up, you know. I'm making these appointments for my mental health, for my physical health, and I'm understanding that it's okay to ask for help. It's okay to take care of myself, that I am worthy of loving myself and taking care of myself, and so are you. And so that's why I wanted to make this, because I just wanted to share, because you know, we always think we're alone, and we're not alone. I know there's lots of us out there struggling with our mental health, with our physical health, you know, struggling to put ourselves first, thinking we can't put ourselves first because society just wants us to keep going, you know? But at the end of the day, like, what I realized when I was there in the emergency room was, at the end of the day, nothing matters. Like, if I die right now, nothing else matters. Like, even though I was struggling financially, I still am, but I'm getting help with that. That it don't matter when I'm dead. Nothing matters if you're dead, you know? So, message is, you are worthy of self-care, of self-love. You are worthy to ask for help. Asking for help doesn't mean you're weak. Asking for help means that you love yourself enough and you're strong enough to ask for help, that you are worthy of asking for help. And you may be surprised at how many people love and care about you and are willing to help you. So anyways, y'all, welcome back to my channel. My name is Sean. If you have stuck with me for this entire video, I am thankful. Yeah, hopefully I can be consistent. This is kind of my form of therapy. Like I said, I was just sharing my story, talking to my little phone here, and if I post this video, then yes, I'm gonna stay consistent, and I'm gonna share my authentic self, and maybe someone is out there that needed to know that you're worthy, you are loved, and if you're still here, give thanks. God has a plan for you. Your life has a purpose. Yeah, if this resonates with you, feel free to like the video, subscribe. If you know somebody that you're like, ooh, I think my friend or my loved one or whoever needs to hear this video, please feel free to share with them, you know? I don't know what the next video is gonna look like or be about, but I'd like to take you guys on this journey with me. Like I said, I'm not putting any stress or pressure on myself. Right now, the most important thing for me is to go to these appointments, to continue to take care of my health, my mental health, and just pour into myself, you know? That's my main focus. So I'm not going to put pressure on myself or anything. Yeah, All right, y'all. Until next time, take care of your mental health, your physical health. You matter. You are worthy. You are loved. And I love y'all. Thanks for the love. Comment, share, like. Until next time. Peace.